Hello, fellow users of the internet. This will be my first video, just as is, don't look the best. Certainly not talking in the most enthusiastic voice, but it is what it is. This is a channel that I have had for years now that I haven't actually put any effort into as much as I've wanted to since I was 16. But I've never figured out a way to kind of start running the racetrack to try and get this ahead. But the reason why I'm making a video now is because I have come to the conclusion with a lot of things that's been happening in my life is that my existence doesn't matter. But for me, I at least want to make a video channel out there that just shows that I at least existed for a short amount of time, even if it wasn't important. Because I'm personally not very close with a lot of my family members. I have always been a distant kind of person. And not that it was my choice, but more of just how things played out growing up. As you can tell by some of the other videos that I've uploaded before, I used to draw a lot. Nowadays, I don't really do that anymore. Instead, I work a lot and focus on making more money, which, ends up going into just pretty much trying to live. And I am trying to open up myself more to the world and just show people who I really am without the immense of judgment that usually comes with being online, because I think that if you take your best foot forward with the thought in mind that you don't care what anybody else thinks, you don't care what anybody has to say, you are just presenting yourself as is without the opinions of strangers online who you'll never meet in real life. If you come up with that idea, then a lot of this won't really matter. And personally, I don't think that I have anything under my belt that shows that I am a bad person or that I have made any drastic mistakes or anything like that. Now, I'm not saying that I'm perfect or anything. It's more of, I believe that people can change in any given time, but it's the matter of showing how committed they are to becoming a better person or a better version of themselves, just as I still am trying to do. Because personally, I do not like myself, and I haven't liked myself for many years, since I pretty much moved back into my hometown since I was like 6th grade. So it's been a very, very long time since then. And I think that I've gotten to this type of comfortability of, I am not the nicest person, I'm also not the funniest person, the smartest person, and I'm not the most important person in a room. I a lot of the time feel like I am somebody who watches from a distance, who watches other people's actions, learns from their stories, and learns from those actions and consequences as to what I don't want my life to be like. Or I don't want to make those same decisions to repeat those same mistakes that others have made, or actively try to change that outcome, even if, it's not under my control. But as I'm making this video, I just want to say that in any given time that I do make a mistake, I do want to be held accountable. However, I do not want, people to sit here and judge me for my personality or judge me for my looks. I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I'm saying is that as much as I don't want to see it, I simply have to ignore it or not acknowledge it. So that would be something that it won't be said too often, because I'm also the kind of person who is empathetic but will not feel sorry for people who are clearly looking for empathy or sympathy online. I will not feel sorry for people who are looking for nothing but sympathy online. It's how I grew up. It's how I've been the last couple of years. And it's just me trying to be more comfortable with myself rather than constantly trying to fix myself, and more of change myself for the better version of myself while also accepting the parts that I cannot change, if that makes sense to some of you. Now, I don't know how frequently I'm going to be uploading, but I am possibly just going to be uploading just for, again, my own comfortability to be myself, especially when there's a camera in front of me or when there's people around me, because last I checked, I don't act a fool. when it comes down to certain things of just doing stupid things out in the open, if that makes sense as well. I'm a little nervous, to be honest. I do have anxiety, and I do have social anxiety, so there's a tendency where I will either stutter with my words or mix up my words, obviously make human mistakes where things will come out a certain way and stuff like that. Now, I'm not the kind of person who will hold somebody's past against them unless it was deserved, being that it was something that has personally affected me, but anything that other people do out in real life, there's only so much empathy I can give to people when it's just somebody who will never know that I existed, who doesn't know I exist, who may know about me, but they may not be in my life every day or every week, every month, or every once a year. It wouldn't really matter to me. So this is my introductory video. Welcome to my channel, and I'm hoping that you'll stick along for the ride of me just being me and me becoming more comfortable that yes, I exist, but I do not exist for other people. I do not exist for people who don't acknowledge me, who don't have an active presence in my life, because I have made multiple decisions that have ended up leading me down this path where I am isolated, but for good reasons, also while simultaneously facing the consequences of this is the life that I chose, and this is the life that I chose to continuously live. So yeah, this is a channel for me, maybe for entertainment purposes, maybe just to kind of express what I'm gonna do, what I want to do with my life, whatever. I'll get more comfortable with it as I'm going down the line. So thank you for spending your time watching this video, if you watched it all the way through or just came across it on your feed. Thanks.